Hey folks, how you doing? This is Kurt with Manana No Mas, and today it's a rainy Saturday. I'm supposed to be out doing a bicycle ride, but we're doing some internal branding here at Manana No Mas. It's an exercise we do every couple of weeks, and this week I thought it was important to share the progress, not just the progress, but how we're making the progress. And so what I like to get to with this is, there are a ton of gurus and influencers jumping all over the internet telling us how instant the artificial intelligence world is. And for months now, I've been putting forth messages that say, there is no easy button. There's no replacement for work. If you know what the output is supposed to be, and then you use AI and then you check the work, that's one way to speed up the work. But to have the idea that everything is just going to be instantaneous and wonderful because we have AI, well, that's just a complete abuse of expectation. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the progress that we've made at Manana No Mas over the last couple of months of very specifically using artificial intelligence to try and increase our local searchability as a business. Now, this is a huge deal. So I want to put this in the proper framework. More and more people are searching for business with artificial intelligence. So more and more people are going to like ChatGPT to say, where should I get my hair cut? As opposed to going to Google and saying, show me the barbers in my town. And we have to understand the way that customers are using the tool. So we're not talking about conventionally. In a search, you put out a search. I'm looking to buy dog food in my neighborhood. I want to get my hair cut. I want to buy a used car. Like whatever. You put that search into Google, and then Google has 3 or 4 recommendations that are going to be their paid ads, their sponsored listings. And then the organic listings are beneath that. And that's, as a consumer, we're seeing options, right? Option, 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 all the way down the page. And the next page, and the next page, and the next page. And you get it. And the battle has always been, how do we organically get our content to be near the top of that list? And that's what search engine optimization is. Search engine optimization is the idea that we want our business to be near the top of the list for recommendations in a search, whether that's Bing or Google or Ask Jeeves or something like that. So, if you're still using Netscape, more power to you. Here's the difference. Artificial intelligence isn't working that way. Artificial intelligence isn't saying, here's a list of 40 websites, check out these recommendations. Artificial intelligence, when you say, where should I buy a used car? It's going to bring up 1, 2, 3 dealers in your area. And it's going to say this dealer was established in 1974. They have less complaints on the Better Business Bureau, blah, blah, blah. So what happens to the dealers that are in 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, 7th place? In Google, they would still have a space near the bottom of that first page. But in artificial intelligence, they don't have a space. They don't have a space at all. And I think that is a really important thing to consider when we are having a conversation about artificial intelligence and business and SEO and all of these things. And so one of the things that Manana No Mas really took seriously just over a couple months ago was, how do we become like the company locally? We're here in Hutchinson, Kansas. So how do we become the company locally that's going to get recommended by AI? How do we get on that page? So I'm not going to lie, a couple months ago, we did a search and we started with Grok, but we've also tried OpenAI and Claude and a couple of other things. But it was, hey, I want to get a website done. I live in Hutchinson, Kansas. What would you recommend? The first time we did it, 3 recommendations came up. Manana No Mas was not on the list. So then I asked it. I said, hey, I am the owner of Manana No Mas. I said, why didn't you recommend Manana No Mas? And it gave me a list of reasons why it did not recommend Manana No Mas. Now, as a business owner, that's hard to say. As a business owner, you're like, why is this thing sabotaging my business? We can't think that way. We can't afford to think that way. We need to find the opportunities within the obstacles. And so here's this new tool. People are beginning to use it for search for business. And it's important that your business get listed to a result in the way that a customer would ask the question. So it's really important. How would the customer ask the question? You can optimize all kinds of keywords and all kinds of things in your social sites and in your website and all these places. But if you don't optimize phrases that customers would shop with in artificial intelligence, you're not going to hit that recommendation page. And again, I can't stress this enough. In a typical Google search, it's going to have the sponsored results. It's going to have the organic results based on search results. And then those same top 2 or 3 companies that might be recommended with AI, they're going to be in those couple of top positions, right? But then in a normal Google search, there's going to be all of the companies underneath it. And whether you're on the first page or the second page, you have a chance of being contacted by the customer. If someone does that search with artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence says, well, here's 2 or 3 options we think you should look into, it only gave you the 2 or 3 options. And to my knowledge, at least at this rate, it's not going by, the sponsored plugs, right? And it's still going out and it's finding information. For instance, when you do a search on Grok, it'll say, we looked at these 15 websites, and based on these 15 websites, this is how we made this recommendation. And so you're able to go, okay, well, at least now I know where the source of that content is, so I can try to alter the source of that content. Now, I'm going to jump into a share with you for today, and let's see if I can. All right, now hopefully this is going to come through on the screen share for you, but if we take a look over here, I'm using Copilot this morning, and I go to Copilot and I say, good morning, right? Good morning. Today, I would like to ask you for a good referral to have a website made locally here in Hutchinson, Kansas. I'm not asking it for a WordPress website. I'm not asking it for a learning website. I'm not asking for a community website. I'm just acting like a customer. A customer is going to say, hey, I just want a good referral to have a website made. Okay. So pops right out and it says, go to Olive Web Design, and I'll give them a plug. I don't know who they are, but I probably need to go visit them because they're at the top of the list, right? So Olive Web Design, they're on Augustine Street in Hutchinson, a family and veteran-owned business, offers full service, affordable pricing at $99 a month, money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. So you start to notice, what is the AI picking up on? The AI is picking up on the benefits to the customer, right? $99 a month, money-back guarantee, pops up right there, free Google Maps listing setup, great for small businesses looking for hands-off website management. That's pretty direct. Next one is Selwyn Marketing. Selwyn Marketing is on Main Street in Hutchinson. So it's right in the middle of town, like right there. It's right next to, it's right near Harley's Bicycles. Okay. So Selwyn Marketing, it says, offers website design, SEO, branding, and social media marketing focused on small business needs. Local presence with a personalized approach. Now it goes into 3. Thumbtacks, top-rated web designers, Autobite Solution, Web Tech Craft, Name Brand Marketer, Transformed Designs Incorporated. It says you can browse their profiles, read reviews, and request quotes directly on Thumbtack's Hutchinson web design page. Well, here's something interesting. I haven't actively been on Thumbtack since 2009. I thought, okay, so back in 2009, for me to now look at this and go, Thumbtack for web design? Okay, so Thumbtack for web design, apparently it's something AI is leaning on, and this is the kind of things that you begin to take notice of. This is what working with the AI is about. AI is giving you results, but it's also educating you along the way. So I said, hey, can you review Manana No Mas and tell me what you think about them as a possibility to use for web work in Hutchinson, Kansas? Now, 2 months ago, Grok gave me a whole list of reasons why it wouldn't recommend Manana No Mas. Whole list of reasons why it would not recommend us. Okay, based on our social media platforms, our maps, our website, everything. based on our LinkedIn presence, it would not recommend us for a local website. So I want to be really, really clear. Would not recommend us. And so now, here it is, it's 2 months later, and we get into Manana No Mas appears to be a strong local option. Ooh, wait a minute. That's different. That's a big difference in 2 months. So now we appear to be a strong local option for web design and digital services in Hutchinson, Kansas. All right, we are making headway. Here's a detailed review based on their website and offerings. And here we go. It's a multifaceted digital agency, web development and hosting, consulting and training, e-learning solutions. Did you notice the other ones didn't list e-learning solutions? That's good, right? So now we're being set apart. AI is recognizing our niche. They're saying, oh, they specialize in e-learning, public speaking and workshops. Yes, we do teach. Now, here's where it goes into some cool things, right? Here's one of my phrases, agency level work without the agency headaches. I put that on the homepage on purpose. I wanted that to be a driver. And apparently it is a driver because it put it in bold and put it right in the front of the referral. So that's good. Key strengths, local presence. Look at that. 2 months ago, we were not a local presence on artificial intelligence. We were not a local presence. Now we are a local presence, right? Active in the Hutchinson business community. I am active, right? Monthly WordPress meetup. We do run the local WordPress meetup. WordPress expertise. We specialize in WordPress, which powers over 40% of the web. This is ideal for scalable, customized websites. Client-centered approach. Okay, I like that a whole lot better than money-back guarantee. Just call me crazy, okay? But if we keep pushing our AI searchability, we're going to overtake these positions pretty quickly, right? And let me go back to it. Where was it? Here we go. Client-centered approach. It's a whole lot better than a money-back guarantee. Broad experience. I like that. Their portfolio includes work with marine and power sports brand corporate sites and large-scale training programs like the Los Angeles County elections. Absolutely perfect. Educational focus. I like that. They also offer training and course development. We're all about e-learning, community sites, e-commerce, all that falls into that, right? Services offered, we got that. Is it a good fit for you? Is it a good fit for you? I like the way it rounds that out. Says we're a local team, hands-on support, WordPress-based site with room to grow, a partner who understands both tech and business strategy. If I am a local business that's starting up and I'm doing a search for who's going to make my website, that's going to make my heart sing. I really like the way this is going. Then Manana No Mas would be an excellent choice. Would you like help drafting a message? Blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the key. I found out what AI would recommend, and then I said, well, why wouldn't you recommend Manana No Mas? And it turns out it kind of would have. We were close, right? We were close. Look at the reviews for the first two. Look at ours. We are super. In a lot of cases, I believe that we present better than the other companies do. So why didn't we take those first two positions? Remember, with artificial intelligence, you're recommended or you're not. It's not the same as search engine listings. With a search engine listing, we would be in maybe 4th or 5th spot, but we're not in 4th or 5th spot because there is no 4th or 5th spot. In that last recommendation through Copilot, there were 2 options. You could either be with Olive or Selwyn. That was it, Olive or Selwyn. So Olive and Selwyn in an AI search world are going to get all the business, right? So let's take a look at this. If you need more help reaching out to Manana No Mas, comparing options, or even planning your website content or features, I'd be happy to assist. Would you like help drafting an introductory message or a list of questions to ask them? No, I don't. I don't want to do that. I want to go to the next phase of our workflow. So the next phase of our workflow here at Manana No Mas is we want to confess. We want to come clean to the artificial intelligence. We want to say, hey, we're the owner of Manana No Mas, right? We were anonymous before, but now I'm going to go to it and ask questions. I'm going to say, hey, I'm the owner of Manana No Mas. So as the owner of Manana No Mas, why wouldn't you recommend me in the original question? How can you help me do better? How can you help me do better? As long as we keep asking, how do we get better? How do we get better? It's going to give us suggestions on how to get better. And every time I learn something new, every time. So 2 months ago, it was, you don't really mention Hutchinson, Kansas on your LinkedIn page. You don't really mention Hutchinson, Kansas on your Facebook page. Like, you talk about what an expert you are with all these tools, but you don't say you're in Hutchinson. So you need to make content that says you're in Hutchinson. On our main website, manananomas.com, we had a couple of blog posts talking about moving to Hutchinson, Kansas. But our homepage didn't have anything about Hutchinson, Kansas. But here we are. We were members of the Chamber of Commerce. We run the local WordPress meetup. We're involved with different entrepreneurial groups here in town. Like, we are super active in Hutchinson, Kansas. So, yeah, I need to put that on the homepage. It seems like a no-brainer. But, folks, when you're running a business, a lot of the no-brainer stuff doesn't get in here unless someone tells you. And sometimes you have to ask the right questions. So in this case, we're going to ask today. So remember, 2 months ago, it was change your Facebook, change your LinkedIn, change your Instagram, make adjustments to your homepage. Okay. Now let's see what we're getting. Okay. I put, I'm the owner of Manana No Mas. I'm looking for ways to improve my local search results in AI. Now that you have recommended 2 other businesses before my own, but had complimentary things to say about Manana No Mas, can you tell me what I can do to make you think more highly of our business? So it's always flattering, right? So right now, I don't know if this is a trend or if it's going to be this way forever, but one of the reasons I say to be anonymous when you first start investigating your own business is because AI has a tendency to flatter the pilot, to be nice to the pilot who's driving it. And so I'm not looking for that when I'm trying to do research on my own business. I want to know what customers see. So go in anonymously, and then after you get the results that you're looking for, then you want to go back and say, hey, I am the owner of that business. How could I get better? And then so it says, that's fantastic to hear. You're the owner of Manana No Mas. Your site and services already show a lot of professionalism and heart. See, it's kind of kissing my butt a little bit. And it's clear you're doing meaningful work. Since you're aiming to improve local search visibility in AI-driven results, yes, here are some actionable strategies. Here comes the key. Now, the reason I say there is no easy button and you have to have patience, because 2 months ago, it told me to change my Facebook, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and gave me suggestions for my homepage. Then I waited a couple of weeks, and then I did another search, and I said, okay, well, now let's change the catchphrase on the LinkedIn. Let's add an article to LinkedIn. Let's do this in Instagram. Let's do this in Facebook. Let's wait a couple weeks. Let's see what the results are. And we have to have patience to let the changes we make aggregate themselves all the way through, right? So now we're 2 months later, and we see things like strengthen local SEO signals. So now it says, what's your Google business profile look like, right? Ensure your profile is fully filled with accurate category, services, and business hours. And then notice it's using these keywords right here. Web design, Hutchinson, Kansas. Web design. Web design. Guess what I'm optimized for? Web developer. Web developer. Web developer is different than web design. So now it's telling me it's looking at web design. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Okay. Local citations. Ensure your business is listed consistently on platforms like Yelp, Bing Places, Apple Maps, Yellow Pages, and industry-specific directories. Use tools like Moz Local or Bright Local to audit and fix inconsistencies. Okay. Earlier, I confessed that I hadn't used Thumbtack since 2009, but now I have to confess I don't even know what Moz Local is. Now, is AI hallucinating? That's a thing that happens. Up to like 23% of the time, AI can hallucinate and just kind of fill in the blanks and make stuff up. So now I need to do my research. I need to find out what is Moz Local and do I want to become a part of Moz Local? And then I've heard of Bright Local, so now I need to figure out Bright Local. Am I listed on there and I have to claim the listing? You know how like Google Maps will say, do you want to claim this business? Like all the businesses are listed on Google Business, right? But not all of them are claimed. So maybe Bright Local is one of those where I got to claim my business or I have to enroll my business or something, right? But I got to figure that out. Schema markup, add local business and website schema to your website. Okay, add local business and website schema to your site. Okay, folks, if you run a business, but you're not a web person, get in touch with your web person and say, hey, this was a suggestion from AI. Can you improve this on my website for me? Now, if you're in WordPress, no problem. WordPress, you have ownership, you have flexibility, you can do whatever you want to do inside your website. If you don't know how to do those things, you can contact guess who? Manana No Mas. But if you're in Wix or Squarespace or something like that, look at your options for how to take care of that. Now it says include service area, reviews, and contact information in structured data to help AI and search engines understand your relevance to Hutchinson. So now we're not just talking about changing some headings and some catchphrases and, some intro lines in our social media profiles. Now we're talking about, hey, you got to jump into the back end of the website and you got to make some adjustments, to your meta, to your tags, to your codes, things like that. Optimize for AI discovery. AI models like mine pull from a mix of search engine results. Ding, ding, ding. SEO still counts. All these people saying that SEO is dead are full of it. Folks, you got to take the gurus and the get rich quick and the easy button people. You got to take them with a grain of salt. Sometimes they have a nugget of truth in them, but a lot of times that nugget of truth is covered in feces. So search engine results, it's the first thing it looked at. So SEO is not dead. You still need search engine optimization. Business directories. Well, gee, what business directories? That's kind of like the next thing I want to ask the Copilot, right? What business directories did you find for local web design in Hutchinson, Kansas? And then see what it says. Maybe it's going to say LinkedIn, but maybe it's going to say something weird I've never heard of before. And then I want to make sure I get on those directories, right? Online reviews, absolutely. That's why it's so important for businesses to get their online reviews from their clients and testimonials. And then content relevance and authority. Content relevant and authority, I think we kind of kill that on Manana No Mas. But still, it says to improve your visibility, publish content that answers local questions. You know how you get writer's block when you're trying to think about what you're going to make for your next post? Well, here you go. Best web design in Hutchinson, Kansas. How to choose a web designer in Kansas. What to expect from a WordPress site build. Use natural language in your content. AI models favor conversational, helpful writing. Boom. Build topical authority. Blog regularly. Okay, we got that. Case studies of local clients. Oh, you know what? When was the last time I did a case study of one of my local clients? Oh, so that helps, right? So you'll notice if you look at our social media account last week and this week, you're going to see we have a feature now that we call on our social media. We call it our client spotlight. And then we put up a screenshot of the client's website and sometimes a blurb about the coolness of the business. Okay. But we could do more. We could do more than that. We could make posts. We could do screen share, explorations of these websites and their features. So include location-based keywords naturally in your posts. Get backlinks from local news, chamber of commerce, or community events you support or host. Well, that's a really good idea. I'm an active member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I tag them and link to them a lot. But when's the last time they've really linked to me other than announcing me as a new member last year? So we got to get past that. Engage with AI influence platforms. This caught my eye. Thumbtack is back. Thumbtack, Clutch, Upcity, and Alignable are often referenced by AI tools. Wait a minute. I'm having a hard enough time keeping up with LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram and TikTok, and now you're talking to me about Thumbtack, Clutch, Upcity, and Alignable. Folks, I got to get on the ball. This was not recommended in the previous 2 months. That's what I'm saying. Patience. We have to do the work. We have to have patience. We have to analyze, and then we have to do more work. This is a cycle. It's an ongoing cycle. This is not a set it and forget it. All right. Make sure your profiles are complete, active, and have reviews. Consider publishing thought leadership content or guides on Medium or LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn exclusively for social connections and stuff like that. But let's be real. I only have a few articles posted on LinkedIn, and I have a ton of content on my website. So it makes sense. I should go in, take content from my website, and paste it into LinkedIn as articles, and that'll help drive more authority and traffic. Maybe not through LinkedIn, but when AI does a search for my business, it's going to come up, and it's going to give me authority, and it's going to give me a higher ranking. So this work that we do in Facebook, in LinkedIn, in Instagram, in all these places. It's not just for those platforms. AI is seeing this and using it to rank us for exposure. So highlight unique differentiators. It says you already have some great ones. Hosting the WordPress meetup, e-learning and consulting, a strong personal brand with public speaking and training. So it finishes up by telling me, hey, you got some strengths, highlight them. Keep pushing the strengths, make up the differences on some of the weaknesses, okay? And this right here is interesting, right? So I need to go back. Like, I know I have a Google business page for Manana No Mas, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been in it. So I need to go in there and I need to review it and make sure it's good. Make sure if there's anything I can add, I add it, and make sure I've got local citations in that listing. Because I second guess whether I do or not. I think I built that Google business profile before I moved to Kansas. And then I think after I moved to Kansas, I signed in and changed the address. But changing the address is not the same as making local content meant to drive people from that property to us as local providers. Now, you might be asking, why am I so focused on local AI search? Why am I focused on AI search? Well, for one, like I said at the beginning, more and more customers are beginning to search with AI as opposed to Google. Google gave people a list of options, and AI gives people a few recommendations. So people tend to like that simpler, short recommendation list. Great. I want to be a part of that. Any business that doesn't want to be a part of that isn't playing with a full deck. Okay? And then the next thing, people say, well, why are you focused so hard on local? Why you focus so hard on local? Well, Manana No Mas already has a national and international presence. We have team members in Vietnam, Pakistan, Spain, France, Africa, Australia, Japan. And so we have team members in all those areas, okay? We do work all over the globe. We're known for enterprise level work with e-learning websites and converting SCORM content to WordPress to save these companies 60, 70% of their IT budget on training. Like, we have that established. We work directly with Lifter LMS and WP Tonic, and I am the co-host of a show on the WP Minute. So nationally and internationally, we've kind of got I'm not going to say the market cornered, but we are known for that already. We're already known for that. However, we are not already known as being the local provider for web services where we live from a local perspective. And so to me, it's really important that we establish that early in the game with this AI thing. I want to get to the top of the list in the AI listings as quickly as possible so that all the other people that come up behind us are going to have to fight that battle to get up and knock us off the pedestal. Okay? Does it sound mean? Does it sound selfish? No, it's not. It's business. In business, you want to be the top recommendation, period. And so I really want to drive home this idea that AI is not an easy button. It is not a quick fix. It is, however, a great resource. It will give you information. It'll teach you along the way. It will train you on what you need to do. And folks, one more thing. We are a full service agency here at Manana No Mas. If you have a project and you're like, we just can't seem to get ahead, we just can't seem to get Google to we can't get Google to recognize us. We tried this, we tried that. Reach out. We can do a needs assessment. We can figure out, hey, what would the investment look like to have a company like Manana No Mas help you with your projects? As you can see, I'm very transparent about our methods and how we do things. We're very focused on the calendar and budgets when we work with our clients. We don't ask for more money halfway through the project, and we don't push the deadline. We come at things from a very realistic perspective. How long is it going to take? How much is it going to cost? We'll execute it, and then we let you know the results as we go. And as you can see, I'm really transparent about the process. So there's no magic. I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in easy buttons. I believe in doing the work, analyzing the results, tweaking the path, and doing more work. And folks, that's going to be something you're going to keep seeing from us. Have yourself a wonderful day. I hope you found some value here.